Stocks trade firm but near the day's high as capital goods and utilities lead gains. Even IT sees green, but consumer durables drag in trade. Wipro, Tech Mahindra and LTI Mindtree report is slowing in Q4. Tech Mahindra's weak orders, Wipro's lower guidance are concerns, but the latter's buyback boosts the stock. Axis Bank reports a strong growth in advances and deposits for the fourth quarter, with asset quality improving to levels not seen in a long time. PI Industries jumps on clinching a deal to buy assets for inroads into pharma, but Godrej Consumer slips after it agrees to buy Raymond's FMCG biz for 2,800 crore rupees. Even Raymond skids in trade. Hi guys, good afternoon and welcome to Business Lunch. I'm Pavitra. Those are the headlines that we have for you this afternoon. There's lots to talk about in terms of individual stock-specific action for the market. Also, by the way, we are seeing quite a pickup pretty much near the day's high on the Nifty, 60 points higher right now. 17,972 is where we're at. And, once again, even though the index is doing quite well, you have this sharp outperformance coming through from the broader market. So the mid-cap index, the small-cap index, both holding up very well. There you have it on your screen. The mid-cap index is up 0.8% right now. And then if you take a look at the advance decline ratio at 2:1 in favor of the advances, so looking quite positive there as well. What's doing well? The PSU Bank Index for sure. In fact, all of this week, that PSU Bank Index has been the top sectoral gainer. It's up over 6%, 6.2% to be precise for the week. Today, it's up 1.5%. So that entire pack definitely doing well. You have the likes of SBI, Bank of India doing well, something like an IOB, which is seeing good gains. All of them on your screen right now. But on the downside for the banks, you have some of the private banks, right? The likes of Axis, which are seeing cuts today. It is the top loser on the Nifty. You have ICICI Bank also, which is under a bit of pressure. That's what's happening with the banks. The other space where you're obviously seeing good interest today is the IT pack. So names like Wipro, Tech Mahindra doing well from the larger names. And then you have a lot of the mid-caps, so the likes of Persistent, Coforge, which are also seeing good gains. That's what's happening in terms of the market action. But let's kickstart by talking about exactly this, the IT pack. It continues to be the big talking point from the large caps. We had Wipro and Tech Mahindra, which reported a disappointing set of earnings. So let's start with Wipro first. Like we've been telling you, the revenue was weak. Constant currency revenue growth came in at minus 0.6%. And the Q1 FY24 guidance was also quite a sore point. It came in at -3 to -1%. So they are guiding for a degrowth in the quarter to come. What the street is cheering, however, and that's why the stock is doing well in trade, is that there is a 12,000 crore rupee buyback done at quite a premium. So the company will buy back shares at 445 rupees a piece. That is a 19% premium to the current price of the stock. So here's a word from the management.
In some sectors, in some industries, certainly banking, financial services, also the technology sector, where what we're observing is that there is a certain reduction, slowdown of the discretionary spend. And that is, definitely generating a little more of uncertainty on our top line for quarter one. Not one single project or got cancelled, not a single project. There's I would say there is not one event that would have any material importance to the guidance for Q1.
All right, that is the word coming in from Wipro. But staying with IT, Tech Mahindra's margin at 11.2% was a big miss, and it came in at a 23-quarter low as well. Also, another big negative was that the deal wins have slumped. If you take a look at it on a sequential basis, it's down 26% in Q4. So let's listen into what the management had to tell us on both of these issues.
We see next year overall the margin heading positively, and we have multiple levers that we are continuing to work on. Basis all that, our view is that will move in the positive direction from where it is right now.
No, I would not read too much into $600 to $700 million deal win, because we all know that the funnels are good. Overall, the IT demand is still very, very high, and particularly for us, because we are also invested in network services. We are also into the content creativity side through XDS. So I think it is just a quarterly dip, but overall on an annual basis, I'm very confident that the previous year, which is FY23 closing, we had done 3 billion. Since we do not give indication, but I can only tell you is that it will be far better than 3 billion in FY24.
All right, so that is the word from the Tech Mahindra management. By the way, take a look at the Tata Metallic stock. We just had earnings come out over there. There's been quite an expansion on the margin front, which is showing up in the stock price as well. It's up 3% right now on Tata Metallics. That one doing very well. There you can see sudden spike in the stock after its results. The EBITDA has come in at around 90 crores, which is also quite a jump. If you take a look at what we saw last time, it was around 60 crores. So there's been quite a jump on that front as well. Revenue growth seen at around 15%. So that is what is coming on Tata Metallics. We'll bring you more details when we do get them from the numbers. But for now, let's shift focus to some more stocks that we're tracking. And there's a CNBC-TV18 News break, which has been confirmed. Like we've been telling you, Godrej Consumer has inked a deal to acquire Raymond's FMCG business. So Raymond is now also looking at demerging its lifestyle and realty business entities both. So Surbhi is here with the details on this one. Surbhi.
Hi, thanks so much for that. So we've been talking about how Raymond selling its FMCG business to Godrej Consumer is an expensive deal for Godrej Consumer. But let's see what it means for Raymond. Now, post this, Raymond Group will initiate two independent entities, lifestyle and the real estate business. Now, post selling Raymond Consumer Care's FMCG business to Godrej Consumer, Raymond will have two separate entities, which is Raymond Limited and Raymond Consumer Care. And in Raymond Consumer Care, it will have only the lifestyle business, which is branded textile, branded apparel, garmenting and the high value cotton segment, whereas Raymond Limited will have the real estate and the engineering business. Both the companies will be net debt free listed entities. Shareholders of Raymond will get 4 shares of RCCL for every 5 shares held with them. Post the demerger, promoters will hold close to 55% in RCCL and close to 49% in Raymond Group. Based on the share swap, RCCL, which is Raymond Consumer Care's valuation, works out to be 11,500 crores, and the valuation attributable to the public shareholders works out to be close to 5,000 odd crores. Now, Raymond's share has re-rated in the past 1 month, but this demerger is definitely a positive step for them.
All right, demerger is definitely a positive, but on that note, let's also listen into what Amit Agarwal, CFO of Raymond, had to say about Raymond's demerger plans. Listen into that and we'll be right back.
As far as the demerger is concerned, the RCCL will get the cash, and we have at the Raymond Limited lifestyle business, which is having the debt. We will demerge the lifestyle business from Raymond Limited into RCCL along with the assets and liabilities as well as debt, so that the cash which is at RCCL from the sale proceeds of FMCG business can be used to repay the debt, and therefore making lifestyle business a debt-free business.
All right, they will demerge the lifestyle business and will also be able to make it debt-free by utilizing some of the proceeds from this deal. That is the word coming in from Raymond. But with that, there's some more exclusive corporate opinion that we are bringing you. Siemens is extremely bullish on the India business and is doubling down on the railway segment. That's the word coming in from President and CEO Roland Bush. Speaking to CNBC-TV18 Surbhi, he adds that the company will add capex in India and will continue to bid aggressively for railway tenders. Listen in.
This growth will be driven from all our businesses. Let me start with the industrial business, where we are equipping any kind of manufacturing. And we equip manufacturing sites like Halva, 50-year-old brownfield, and we transform it into a digital plant, as well as new greenfield plants. What I do see in that space is more and more complex products coming into India. For example, Apple decided recently to come with their phones to be produced and so on and so on. You see battery manufacturing, semiconductors. This is really complex stuff. So you need technology here, which is tailwind for us. I see it also in our smart infrastructure space, which is they electrifying data centers, the energy systems, whatever. That's tailwind, but also the buildings. 30% of the energy consumption comes from buildings. We automate buildings. Mobility, we recently won a 3 billion order for locomotives.
Yes.
The mobility makes their contribution, and that's just the start. We want to double down on that success. Healthcare too. I mean, the healthcare system is also expanding. So we are firing on all cylinders, and I do believe we can achieve this.
Let me take up the mobility bit, because that was a big headline, right? This mega order from the Indian Railways, 26,000 crore rupees, a little over 3 billion, as you said. So what's the strategy on the railways from here on? What potential do you see? And a lot of people are wondering whether Siemens will now go a little slow, be a little less aggressive, because you've already got this big order in December, or will you continue to be aggressive and fire away and really look at dominating the railway opportunity?
So we will definitely not slow down in contrast. We want double down on our success and really do more.
Okay. What about exports? Again, just going by earlier numbers, if I look at the year that closed in September, the share of exports from India diminished a little bit compared to what it was, let's say, a couple of years back. So was that sort of an aberration, or is that a conscious thought of focusing more on the local market? Or do you see the opportunity of making more here in India and perhaps exporting to other markets?
No, definitely. I mean, I don't know if there's a little dip, it could just be a mix effect of products but definitely we want to use our strengths in India with more than 30 manufacturing sites here, highly competitive. We want to use it also for exports. We are exporting a lot of electric equipment to Middle East, for example, to other places. Once we are established with rolling stock stronger in the Indian market, I can definitely imagine that India will be one of the global hubs for metro cars, for example. So I mean, it's a competitive environment. If you win there, then you can win in other places too.
All right, firing on all cylinders in India. That's the word coming in from the Siemens management, also saying that they will use their capacities in India in order to help with global exports as well. That is the word coming in. But with that, it is time for a break on the show. On the other side, unseasonal rains hurt wheat sales of Madhya Pradesh farmers. Even the higher MSP offered by the government is not enough to cover the losses, say distressed farmers. We have a special report coming up for you in just a bit. Welcome back. Now, the government began procuring this year's Rabi harvest of wheat in the last week of March, but this year's season is not going too well for the wheat farmers of Madhya Pradesh. We have CNBC-TV18 Santya Gora, who reports that despite a higher minimum support price, government procurement is not of much help, and the losses from crashing open market prices are really hurting the farmer. So here's the special report.
Chanderi village, situated in Madhya Pradesh's Sihor district, is 30 kilometers from Bhopal and is home to Reshambai Mewada and her daughter-in-law Sunita Mewada. Both ladies are busy threshing the 250 quintals of wheat their family has harvested from their 10 acres of fields to take to market. But they are worried about how much this harvest will fetch them.
भाव तो अपने बहुत ही घाटा जाएगा, कितना घाटा जाएगा, कम भाव मिलेगा तो घाटा जाएगा. अब अच्छा कम हो जाता तो घाटा जाता ही नहीं. पिछले साल तो बढ़िया हो जाता, अब फिर मावट ने सब आड़ा कर दिया तो बहुत ही पतला रहेगा.
Low prices because of poor crop quality is not their only problem. Many farmers in the area say unseasonal rains have meant the quantity of their harvest has also dropped significantly, which will mean lower income.
पिछले साल से कम गेहूं 50% कम हुए. इस बार ओलावृष्टि और गेहूं चौपट आड़े होने की वजह से गेहूं पतले पड़ गए, छोटे पड़ गए, और जो कुछ गेहूं कटाई हो गई थी उसमें सफ़ेद दाना हो गया. सफ़ेद दाना हो गया तो उसका रेट सही नहीं मिल पा रहा मंडी में, तो इसलिए उसको मजबूरी में सहकारिता में उसको बेचना पड़ रहा है.
The government's wheat procurement drive, which started towards the end of March, is offering some relief. The government has hiked minimum support price for wheat from 2,015 rupees per quintal or 20 rupees and 15 paisa per kilogram to 2,125 rupees per quintal or 21 rupees and 25 paisa per kilogram. However, there's a catch. The government's procurement policy caps the amount of wheat it can buy at 18 quintals per acre. This means that any grain left over will have to be sold in the open market, where average prices range between 1,300 to 1,800 rupees per quintal.
मैम उसकी लिमिट है 1 एकड़ में 18 कुंटल. अब उससे क्या ओवर हो जाता है तो फिर कहाँ बेचे. 18 जैसे 5 एकड़ का खाता है तो 90 कुंटल तो लेगा. अब 100 कुंटल होगा तो उसको तो यहीं ला के बेचना पड़ेगा.
पैदावार में भी पड़ा है, कलर पे भी ख़राब हो गया है, इसलिए मतलब मंडी में तो कम रेट है, गवर्नमेंट के रेट से दे रहे हैं हम इसको.
मैम नुकसान तो देखिए, अगर एकड़ के हिसाब से देखा जाए तो हमें 2 से 3 कुंटल पर एकड़ पे नुकसान लगभग हुआ है. और मंडी रेट में हमें उम्मीद थी कि सोसाइटी रेट से अच्छे रेट होंगे, लेकिन वहाँ बहुत डाउन चल रहा है, 200-250 रुपये क्विंटल का फर्क आ रहा है।
The other pain point is that Food Corporation of India has slashed its wheat procurement targets for 2023. It aims to buy just 34.15 million tons this year, 22% lower than the 44 million tons it procured in 2022.
The government has, discontinued one part of the free food distribution, right? And that we believe is going to reduce the requirement of wheat to the tune of about 8 to 10 million metric tons, which is what gives the government some comfort to reduce the procurement targets by FCI.
Experts also point out that as of mid-April, the FCI has only procured 4.17 million tons of wheat, which is just 12% of its full-year target. This could help wheat farmers in Punjab and Haryana, who are traditionally the second largest contributors to wheat stock after MP. According to Crystal Market Intelligence and Analytics, MP has contributed to 56% of overall procurement so far this year, against Punjab's 26% and Haryana's 17%. But even with Food Corporation's assistance, wheat farmers in Madhya Pradesh are in a tight spot. The money usually comes in 3 weeks after delivery, and till then, farmers have to pay for labor and other expenses out of pocket. That's not all.
Last year, the heat wave damaged the wheat crop and hurt farmers' negotiation power. This time, unseasonal rains have done the same thing, but there was a saving grace last year. An early harvest meant losses for MP's farmers was limited, but they don't have that safety net this time around. The government's procurement program is providing some relief, but even that is limited because there are caps to how much can be procured per acre of crop. In Bhopal, with camera person Bharat Kori, this is Santya for CNBC-TV18.
All right, that is a special on the state of the wheat farmers in Madhya Pradesh right now. Pretty tough situation there. But the other big focus in terms of national story is that star Indian wrestlers like Vinesh Phogat, Sakshi Malik and Bajrang Punia, among many others, continue to protest against the WFI chief, accusing him of sexual harassment and mistreatment of athletes. Top sports personalities including Neeraj Kumar and Abhinav Bindra have also come out in support of wrestlers, and the latest to join the list is Sania Mirza. Meanwhile, Indian Olympic Associate President PT Usha has drawn criticism for her comments, stating that spokespersons protesting on the streets amounted to indiscipline and are tarnishing the image of the country. So let's listen in to what Bajrang Punia had to say.
नीरज भाई का धन्यवाद बोल दूंगा, क्योंकि ये सिर्फ एक कुश्ती की लड़ाई नहीं है, ये सभी खिलाड़ियों की लड़ाई है, क्योंकि खेल का शोषण किया जा रहा है, भारत की बेटियों का शोषण किया जा रहा है। तो जब तक सभी खिलाड़ी इकट्ठा नहीं होंगे तो ऐसे लोग हमारा शोषण करते रहेंगे। पीटी उषा ने कल जो बयान दिया है कि इनडिसिप्लिन है दस्तों पे बैठना, आपको कमेटी के पास आना चाहिए था, उसके बाद हम कमेटी के पास 3 महीने पहले गए थे, तब तो मैडम ने फोन भी नहीं उठाए, और मैडम अभी हमें अनुशासनहीन बोल रहे हैं। अनुशासन, मैडम खुद एक एथलीट है, आइकन है हमारे, तो मैडम से पूछिए बिना अनुशासन के मेडल जीते जा सकते हैं। बात कैरियर की है, अगर कुश्ती के लिए हम न्याय के लिए लड़ रहे हैं तो हम अपने कैरियर को दांव पे लगाने के लिए भी तैयार हैं, और मैंने कल भी बोला था कि हम कुश्ती को बचाने के लिए हर कुर्बानी देने के लिए तैयार हैं।
Is an important view coming in, and we're going to keep bringing you updates on this story as we get them. But for now, there's something else that we're tracking, and that is that amid border tensions between India and China, China's Defense Minister Li Shangfu arrived in New Delhi to attend the Shanghai Cooperation Organization Ministers' meeting. The meet will include an exchange of views on the issues of defense and security cooperation. Notably, this is the Chinese Defense Minister's first visit to India since the deadly clash between China and India's troops in 2020. So that is an important development as well. With that, it is time for a break on the show. But when we come back, Citroën India will launch the C3 Aircross in August later this year. We're going to bring you excerpts from our conversation with the company's global CEO in just a bit. Welcome back. You're still tuned into Business Lunch. Citroën India has unveiled the C3 Aircross, a mid-sized SUV that will compete against the Creta, Seltos, Taygun as well as Kushaq, and will be launched in the month of August later this year. Now, the C-segment SUV will be available in both 5 and 7-seater options and is powered by a 1.2-litre engine. My colleague Parikshit spoke to Thierry Koskas, the global CEO at Citroën, to learn more about the company's plans for the Indian market. Listen in.
It has been a very exciting journey. As you know, last year we introduced the new C3. So far we sold more than 9,000 vehicles. It's very exciting. The response of the market has been good, in line with our expectation. 6 months after launching the C3, we introduced the electric version, the EC3. Also a great expectation from the dealers. And it's the beginning of our strategy in India. Today, that's the second step with the all-new C3 Aircross, where we will address another big segment, the mid-size SUV. So steady growth for the Citroën brand, very exciting journey in India.
So, right. So you've said that you've already sold about 9,000 cars. If I ask you about 2023, what kind of growth are you expecting from India? Is there a target that you've given to your Indian team?
Well, as you know, we never communicate volumes outside, but what I can tell you is we have today 30 dealers, one car, the C3. This year, at the end of this year, we will have obviously 2 vehicles with the new C3 Aircross, and we will multiply by 2 the number of dealers. So the growth will come both from 2 models instead of 1, and twice the number of dealers. So you can do your calculations, but we expect obviously a growth in our volume in 2023.
Any percentage that you'd like to give us in terms of growth volumes? Okay. As far as the electric offtake goes, India is going through a strong EV transition right now. What's the electric offtake that you've seen for Citroën?
Well, I can see, to be honest, a great perspective for electric vehicles in India, because I think that it fits quite well the usage in the market. Urban, suburban usage is great. I had the opportunity to drive the EC3. It's a great product. It fits perfectly the needs of mobility. And obviously, there is obviously a concern in India, like in any part of the world, about the environment. So I can see great perspective of development of electric vehicles in India for sure.
All right, that's the word from the Citroën management, but we will wind down on the show on that note. The markets are at the high point of the day. Thanks for tuning in. Mid-Cap Radar up next.